The Wild Robot is a family adventure film by DreamWorks that follows a robot named Roz. It finds itself on a remote island with loads of wildlife and has to look after a baby goose after watching it hatch in front of its eyes. This is a spoiler-free review up until this timestamp. Let's just get straight into it. This film is a blast. I was in theatre with about 10 people, but it felt like there was a lot more because of how much laughter there was. This film is adorable, it's entertaining, and it focuses on the motherhood between Roz and Brightbill. However, as the film progresses, it tackles heavier topics that really do impact you because of your connection to these characters. I watched this film with a friend of mine, and she was bawling her eyes out by the midway point, and that definitely wasn't the last time she cried. For those of you who enjoy animation, this is a beautiful film to look at, especially the location, as the colours of the island evolve significantly depending on which stage the story is at. They hinted at what the world looks like outside of the island, and it really intrigued me. I'm a huge fan when it comes to good world building, so I just have to mention that. If you enjoy DreamWorks films that capture the magic of storytelling, and you want to learn a message that may resonate with you personally, this is a great movie for you. If you're looking to watch a film with your kid or younger sibling, they're going to have so much fun with this movie as it's really funny throughout most of the film. So that's the end of my spoiler-free review. If you haven't seen the film, I recommend clicking off the video now. The thumbnail isn't clickbait, by the way. I truly think this is not only one of the best films of the year, but it's also one of DreamWorks' best films over the last 6 years alongside Puss in Boots. Before I watched this film, DUNE Part 2 was my favourite film of the year, and I'll be comparing them both at the end of this video in order to find out which one I like more. The beginning of the film immerses you into this new world as we witness Roz experience this unknown territory for the first time. It reminds me of the first half of WALL-E, where we see nothing but a robot partaking in a task, watching it slowly develop feelings. Time to talk about the messages of the film and how effectively the film portrays them. So it starts off as a film about motherhood and how sometimes having a different upbringing is actually a good thing even if you don't realize it at the moment. Almost every single mother does try her hardest to make their children happy. Some of them may just have different views or lack of resources or knowledge to do so. And in the case of Roz, she is sadly misunderstood by the entire island and is seen as a monster, which in turn affects Brightbill as well. However, the film starts to approach other issues that viewers may not have picked up on until a very powerful scene, which is that you shouldn't lose sight of what you already have after losing someone. When Brightbill successfully learns how to fly and leaves the island, Roz mistakenly forgets about Fink, a character who's never experienced love before until Roz and Brightbill. And now Roz has completely rejected him. The film purposely focuses on Roz and Brightbill up until that point, because it isn't just Roz that forgets about him, it's the audience as well, leaving a much bigger impact. Also, right after Brightbill left, he didn't get to say something to Roz, so for the remainder of the film you're wondering if he's able to say what he wants to. During this time of the audience wondering if Brightbill is ever able to achieve this task, we see Roz saving the entire island despite their hatred towards her, showing how resilient mothers can be when they're willing to care for the helpless. And so now when we cut to the scene of Brightbill saving Roz in the ship, she's unfortunately lost her memories. And so now he's basically saying I love you to essentially a dead mother, something the film has built up to and is absolutely soul crushing. I did like the ending of the film as well. Everyone got what they wanted, especially Fink. He definitely deserves to be loved on that island. Despite my love for this film, I think it's very healthy to point out its flaws, particularly for me as I want to work in the film industry someday. So studying each film with each review will make me more knowledgeable. Now we all know plot armor is prevalent in most films, so sometimes I'm willing to look past that point. But in this case, Roz must be made out of vibranium because that robot is indestructible. It has to fix its body with materials on the island though, which is very cool. However, at the end of the film, we literally see like 10 robots that all get one shot, so it's a little bit inconsistent. I also didn't like their exposition at times. They literally read a story to the animals about what the robot did, even though they got the message across pretty well. Okay, so now it's time to compare this film with DUNE Part 2. Is it better? Before I watched this film, DUNE Part 2 was my favourite film of the year. In fact, I watched it twice in theatres. In terms of a film, they both do well with character arcs, they are visually stunning, they both have an engaging story, with DUNE being at a much larger scale. That film also had me at the edge of my seat a lot more because the tensions were a lot higher and the world building is some of the best I've ever seen in any film. But in terms of emotion, the comedy, the capture of magic, and most importantly a great message, I've personally both enjoyed and got more out of The Wild Robot than DUNE Part 2. Meaning The Wild Robot is the best film of the year for me so far. There are still a few films coming out this year that have the potential to be even better, so I'll be continuing this new series of 5-minute reviews whenever I watch a new film. Side note, but if this was last year, it wouldn't even make top 5 as these films are all better than it. Which means I might make a video on the underwhelming movies that have come out this year, especially compared to last year. Let me know what you guys thought of the film. Am I potentially overrating this film? If you have any more criticism, let me know as I couldn't think of many more. There will be an announcement video coming out about this channel in about 2 weeks, so stay tuned for that. And if you enjoyed this video, liking and subscribing would really help out my small channel. I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.